Hi hand readers, today I'm talking about low set baby fingers. Low set means when the level at which the finger departs from the palm is somewhat retracted into the palm, so it's a much lower level than the rest of the fingers. My name's Jennifer. I've been studying hands for many years and I offer readings, I offer wonderful courses. If you're interested, kindly contact me. You'll find my information at the end of this video. As you can see in this image, the crease line between the middle and basal phalange of the air finger, or the mercury finger in palmistry, that is the baby finger, is about level with the crease where the ring finger extends from the palm. And when we see this kind of feature in a set of hands on both baby fingers, there could be for the person a pervasive sense of abandonment, of there in some way, whether actual or perhaps perceived, the person was abandoned. There will be also a sense of loneliness that might also trouble the person throughout their life, and also some anxiety about trust. So it's quite a difficult marker to live with. It does aspect a certain amount of insecurity. One of the most reliable indicators, or interpretations rather, of low set baby fingers is what's known as the emotionally absent father. And mostly you'll find an incredible accuracy that when you present your client, or if you look at your own hands, of course, with the question, was your father emotionally or physically and or both absent, especially between the ages of 8 to 14? And for some reason, this retraction of the fingers obviously links to that pubescent adolescent period of life where the function of the father is so very key to the person's self-esteem and self-worth and confidence in the world. So the father may have been physically distant, he may have been emotionally distant, and he will have not given the paternal validation that one could say is like the nutrient, the fertilizer for the development of the child. Now, a healthy father function has to do with guidance, it has to do with discipline, with setting of boundaries, with provision, protection, recognition, validating the child for who they are in their own right, the spending of quality time. All of this could have been in deficit. So as an inquiry question, as a counseling theme, as I like to call it, in the reading, this is where you would want to be going. What happened with your father in early childhood? Now, I have to clarify, this doesn't mean that there is not necessarily a deep love between this particular person and their father, but that during that period of their life, there was some deficiency of that presence of that father. This could also have resulted in their having to grow up too quickly, in a sense, almost of having too much independence from too young an age. And another ramification is much like the short baby finger that I spoke about last week, and that has to do with a deficiency of self-worth and self-esteem that will have impacted. The thing is that the baby finger, because it leaves from the mount of mercury, when it retracts into the mount of mercury, it diminishes the qualities in the person of traits and qualities and characteristics that relate to mercury. And these are predominantly communication, sexuality, and business and financial exchange, but also relates to the person's sense of self-esteem. So their authority in the world in those particular areas is somewhat retracted or diminished. As I mentioned in one of my previous videos, this analysis can also be refined by looking very carefully at the relative lengths of the individual phalanges of the finger. So we don't jump to any conclusions here. As with all hand reading, one has to cross-reference to many other markings before you come to your conclusions. But the inquiry around the absent father is definitely a worthwhile area of exploration. What's quite interesting, though, is that you'll very often find that those of us with low-set baby fingers somehow develop ourselves. We have a capacity that perhaps is in spite of, not because of our past, to deepen into an area of interest, to work deeply into a field, perhaps of chosen study, and then to have ultimately our talents recognized. So success can come, and often does come, for those of us with low-set baby fingers. Of course, a low-set but long baby finger would be a far better attribute than a low-set short baby finger. A long baby finger is usually pretty advantageous. It does show a strong communicative ability. But if that baby finger is also short and low set, it adds to the childlike qualities that I mentioned in last week's video, the tendency to daydream, the challenges in terms of how to communicate their deepest feelings. And of course, the opposite is true of a very long and high set baby finger. You can be reasonably sure that this person would be an authoritative communicator, would have quite a lot of self-confidence and self-worth, and that they would enjoy a close relationship with their father. Thanks so much to Joan, who asked me to speak about baby fingers. And guys, if you have any other inquiries or requests about what you'd like me to talk about here on YouTube, please don't be shy. Send me a message right below what you'd like me to chat about. And then next week, I am following up on a request from one of the viewers who asked me to please speak about ambition lines. So that's our topic for next week. See you then.